This is Chris Johnson. This is our third or fourth Oblast, and I've changed the name from Oblast Brainstorming to Oblast Education. All right, what I'm trying to do now is find people that are already planning for these Oblast projects. And one of these special guests I have on here is from the Bahamas, and that would be Daryl Cook, Janet Butler, and their whole crew, whoever shows up, and they're going to teach you what they're actually doing. So this is educational. This is what I'm going to start making these. We already know we have a couple great companies that stand behind us for building infrastructure, water, all this great stuff. But now a lot of people say every day, Chris, I got this building and I want to do this and that. That's great. But remember, we do have to launch, but we can prepare for it. But there's actually people out there that are doing this already. They're planning it. They're going by the laws, and they're really good at it. And I'm blown away. And I do want to give you a little example of what I call the power of Oblast. And I'm not a numbers guy. I'm nowhere near Michael Williams status, but I did some of my own math today. And this is just going to give you a small example of how powerful Oblast is going to be to help out humanity. And these are just numbers I made up. So I went with 1,300,000 founders, okay? And each one of those founders donated $100 a month. That comes out to $130 million a month. Now I times 130 million by 1 year. That comes out to $1,560,000,000. Okay, hold on. I'm going to go one more step. So then I did $1,560,000,000 times 10. That would be considered 10 years. That comes out to $10,500,600,000. Who out here thinks that we can't help people? It's money, but can you imagine where this money can go to for these foundations to build villages? My God, we could build cities. All right, that's what I call my 10-year plan. And that's simply giving $100 a month for a year into 10 years. Now, I don't say we're not going to do nothing right now because we're planning. After we launch, when we get rolling in the apples, okay, this is what I want you to think about, okay? $100. For instance, say you're making lots of money every month, all right? And we got all these projects. Let's build that fund up so right instantly we can be on track for anyone that needs it. Can you imagine? Let's just use Papua New Guinea because you know I love Papua New Guinea. Can you imagine what $10 billion of money resources can do for Papua New Guinea or the Philippines or Africa? You see what I'm saying here? When people on a daily basis call me and say, you're a nut job, Chris, there's no way you can do this. And I say, you're darn right, there's a way to do this. All right. Oblast is that way. And I'm just through some hypothetical. We use the $1. No, I'm jumping it up to $100. I want you to understand the possibilities we have by funding many, many foundations out there already, building infrastructures. Man, there should not be one person in this world that's starving or looking for water. After 10 years, and that's my plan, 10 years, we're going to be looking for different things to fix, as Ash Mafar stated, which I really love that. So let's stay in the now. Those are some hypothetical to get you excited about what's happening. And I now want to turn it over to Daryl Cook from the Bahamas and Janet Butler. They are going to educate us on what they're doing and how to do it. And anyone else in the next few weeks, if you're actually doing something like these guys are doing, text me, email me, get on Julie's sheet in the back office. Let us know. We want to educate you. Hear my voice. I'm excited. I'm excited because we get to help people out, guys. This isn't, this is on. This is going to happen through us. We are going to turn history around. The founders of Impassive are going to make so many changes. What did Ash Mafara say? We are going to paint the world a new color. We're going to change the face of the earth. That's what Oblast is going to do. I'm not even talking about what Impassive is going to do, but the Oblast on passive projects with all the angels is going to be mind-blowing. So on that note, because I'm going to get too fired up, I want to introduce my brother, phenomenal man from who does a lot of work in Bahamas. Daryl Cook, please unmute yourself. The show is yours.
Wow. Wow. Hey, thanks so much. What a great introduction, eh? And I don't know if I can get as fired up as you, but I'm gonna try uh, and to be serious as well. But I want to thank all of you who are here tonight that saw what we've been doing down in the Bahamas with finding key teachers and trying to bless their school systems. And I started coming on to the bless um, brainstorming and taking notes and listening and listening and listening. And I said to myself, hey, we've got a system in Bahamas. It can go from teachers to shelters to startup companies, whatever it is. And so that's kind of what we're going to talk a little bit about tonight. And I don't want to steal the thunder from what's going on. And so I just want to let you know the simple system that we used with teachers. If you did not see that, is find a teacher in your area that you think would be someone who would like to catch on to the vision of what's happening with On Passive as a company and what it wants to do now beyond just being a company. What did Mr. Mufara say the other day? He's not worried about the profits. That doesn't matter. He's worried about what we can do for humanity. What was on the Burj Khalifa? Lifting up humanity, AI with heart. What is all that about? To the common man walking down the street, to the common woman who's going into the grocery store. It's everything, but no one said it to them. How many products in the world have been grabbed up by the tens of thousands of people and generations that continue to be successful? It's because they are first with the company. And so Mr. Mufara is doing that. I got thinking about all this with Bless. If we can gain the confidence of those people who are already blessing, and we talked about that last week, there's so many people out there that got the wheel working in their community. There's not a whole lot of inventing to do. Go back to the teachers. They're in the field. They're the ones who are out there doing it. They just need a solution. And we have the solution. So many folks think about doing these things. And then, oh, I'll get to that next week. And I think that's what got me going. And I know you're going to hear it tonight for some people that said, no, it's not anymore. I can do it next week. I'm going to do it now. And Dorothy, if you're on here, you're the first one I'm thinking of. So here's the system. Now we're reaching out to people who are already wheeling the gears in their communities, whether it be a home for victims of whatever, or if they're homeless, or let's say that there's some kind of community endeavor to create new parks for safe spaces for children to play in. How many children don't have a safe place to play in? How many parks are in your area? So this model is so easy. Find that key person or the key people who are connected to it and reach out and just say, hey, I have a solution to help this playground really look great. I've been, so have you. You've been through so many communities. And I remember about a decade ago, there was a big movement up in our area. These companies were coming in and putting all these new beautiful playgrounds in schools. Well, that money came from someplace, and typically the taxpayer, right? And then all of a sudden, it wasn't happening anymore. Why? Probably the funding wasn't there anymore. So find that key person, reach out to them, and then say, we have the solution. You become a founder, and then we'll find somebody, or you sponsor that project or that shelter, whatever it will be. So it's not rocket science. And I've told Chris this many, many times. Find a solution, simplify it, and then put it out. So Janet, are you here somewhere? Would you like to kick in?
Hi, Daryl. Yes, I'm here. And you hit the nail on the head with all of the teachers being the key. And they are intimately involved with students. They hear the needs. And in addition to that, I want to point out after school clubs. A lot of teachers volunteer their time after school and provide that option for children to stay behind and do extra activities because their parents have to work late. Those are groups of groups as well that you can reach out to because they need funding. A lot of teachers are usually going into their pocket to find that taking that money from their small salary that they already have to buy different art supplies or anything to make sure that they can provide entertainment to help kids after school. There's many community associations as well. So the list really is endless. It's just a matter of us being a little creative and looking for those who are community minded. That's kind of where our focus has been. And looking for the out of the box scenarios where people are just trying to do good. And many of us here are like-minded in that aspect. So thinking outside of the box is what I think many of us do best. So that's pretty much what I want to touch on. And we have we people are just coming on board. People are just being receptive to it, and I mentioned a couple of days ago about attention and the attraction that Passive is getting through the lifting up humanity aspect. People are just embracing it, and they're just and what we're finding is it's just becoming a snowball effect. We almost can't keep up with it, because the more people we tell and share these ideas with, the more they're talking, and then the more of this community mindset is just kind of coming to us. You attract what you project. You attract what you put out there, and it's just the laws of nature. So I just want to encourage everybody, just you don't have to look far. You don't have to look far. And I think if everybody focuses on their community, we've all reached out to our family and friends and shared this opportunity with. And if 1.3 million people really just focus on their community, what is directly around them, to see where you can bless, I mean, in 200 countries, it's definitely just going to start, it's going to start blossoming. We don't have to, as we launch, we don't have to start trying to reach to this country or reach to that country. Many of us here have already done that. And that's why we already have this beautiful impact of 200 countries or more in this movement. And now, as we get to the launching phase, if we just take a step back and look in our communities and we all do our part and find those key people who are already doing this and start to just give them the resources that they need, I mean, it's going to be phenomenal. We talk about internet quakes. We talk about making waves. I mean, we're going to be making everything from quakes to waves to volcanoes erupting. That's the magnitude of what On Passive is going to do to the world. Back to Daryl, back to Chris. That's my 2 cents for now.
Yeah.
Darrell and Janet, both touch on the teachers and the schools and the other organizations, after school programs and everything. But we all talk about every day about changing the world and painting the world. What better way than to do it with our young kids, the kids that are coming up, changing their mindset, making it easier, paving a way for them to come up in an easier life than what we went through. That's my 2 cents on what I thought I should contribute to this.
Well, I want to thank you, Raphael. Raphael is over in Eleuthera, the island of Eleuthera, and he's been reaching out to his place of worship. He's been reaching out to superintendents, teachers in that area. And it's just he got that spur and he said, okay, I'm getting out off the couch and I'm going out and I'm just going to do this. We're not experts. We just want to help that community. And I know there's a couple, I know Chantel's on. Dorothy, I don't know if you're here, if you were able to make it tonight. So
Yes,
Dorothy,
I'm here.
yay, go for it. Let them know about this area that you're trying to work with over now. Dorothy is in the same city, Freeport, up in the Grand Bahama. I really encourage you to take a look at the map of the Bahamas. I don't know how many islands, but I can tell you what, there's more than 2. And it extends for hundreds of miles. And we found these nuggets up in Freeport, over in Eleuthera, Abaco, in Nassau. But some of these islands are so tiny, and all of a sudden these rock stars are coming out of the out of the basements of these little communities, and we're going, whoa, where did this happen? So Dorothy, I want you to let us know what's happening with the folks that you're talking with.
Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here tonight. But I spoke to Daryl and I was telling him that I'm talking with a number of persons, but right now I'm concentrating on senior care. There are like a few of them that I'm very aware of and that I've dealt with in the past. And I mean, there's this one particular lady, she has this building and she has quite a number of senior citizens. And now they're not only senior citizens, they're middle-aged. And the other day there was a young homeless girl that she had taken in, and the community is always trying to help her. And now she is one, there's 2 of the homes that I am going to be reaching out to this very week. And I would really like to get her on board because I've worked with her with a local company that I'm dealing with here on the island. And she's really in need. And I know she's not aware of this. And so it's my aim now to get her involved and get this. Like I said, there's 2 other homes, but I'm going to work with this one first. And then I'm so happy that it came, that we're doing this, because this is going to be exciting. And once she finds in her heart that she wants to do this, and I'm going to go ahead and sponsor her myself, but I just want to make sure that she gets the picture and she understands what we're doing and how much further ahead this can take her. So I am so ready to speak with her and some of the other persons. Hopefully in the next 2 or 3 days, I will be able to let you know, Daryl, exactly where I'm at and what's going on. I'm like really excited and fired up over this right now.
Wow. And I can tell you what, Dorothy, I know you, and I know that you'll be able to express that so well to this gal. Folks, when you fly into Grand Bahamas, I had that experience this winter, and it's amazing. The island was underwater. Let's just say it was 90% underwater as I could see it. I didn't experience Dorothy's sister's shop. The first floor was pretty much flooded, wasn't it? So
yes,
they understand devastation, folks. When you fly in, you know how you fly in the airport, you see these big hangars and everything? Well, picture the first floor of every hangar. There's nothing because the water just took all of the panels out to the superstructure, boom, and then the second story up, it's intact. That's how much water hit Grand Bahama. Think about that.
Yeah.
The whole
Daryl,
entire floor, boom, gone. Go.
Yeah. I was at my sister's house during the hurricane, and we left the house, took a few pieces of items, and we walked like in waist deep water to get from one point to the next to try to get a ride out. So yeah, it was really bad.
So what I was trying to bring out with all of that, they have such a need in just this one island. And then you go to the other islands that were hit, and I experienced such desire and such compassion before Bless was even really a big deal in my mind. And boy, then we were talking to teachers, and they don't have the money to get things started, yet the kids need all of this. So that's what's driving all of this. Well, Chantel called me the other day, And she says, Daryl, I really have a burden for this gal that I know of. And I don't want to, I can't even express it like Chantel because I'm not living it. She knows what's going on. And I want you to share with us, Chantel, what's happening in your world with Oh Bless now that it's extended beyond. She was invited in during the whole movement of sharing, getting key teachers, finding a school and going. And Kizzy, our good friend Kizzy, was the one who brought Chantel into the founder family. And then Kizzy and Chantel started to just make it blossom. And when you find folks with that kind of passion, you can't stop them. And that's why I'm so thankful that Chris reached out to me. I just want you folks to kind of take over what Janet has said and the compassion that Dorothy has. And then, hang on your seats. I hope you've got a 6-point buckle seat now, because I'm going to bring out the Bahamian fireball that's going to tell you exactly her heart and where she sees it. So Chantel, would you please excite us?
Thank you so much, Daryl. As always, I appreciate you so much for just thinking about the people here in the Bahamas by way of your daughter and grandchildren. You see, when something is about to happen, God sends a person and he doesn't care who he has to use. And so he obviously had us in his mind because someone by the name of Ash Mufara had a baby on the inside of him that he needed to give birth to. And that birth would have taken place in the Bahamas. What y'all say about that? It's taking place in the 242, y'all, the 242. I got to figure out how to get my flag showing. But listen, I'm excited. I give it up to all the leaders here, all the leaders that are represented from all over the world and the Bahamas at large. My dear friend, sister, Kizzy McPhee, who saw it fit just to say, Sean, I found something. And that something made me simply say, sign me up. It was no question at all, because I believe in Ecclesiastes 11, 1-6, investing and putting it in different places. And one of these days, something might just happen with one of them. And I truly believe within my heart that one of them for sure is the on-passive movement, the mission, the journey, because it's ministry for some people, it's family for others. And so we are talking about on Oh Bless tonight. And I want to say to you that each and every one of you are blessed. You are a blessing in disguise. No matter what it is that you would have gone through, God saw it fit, or whomever you believe in, that this is the appointed time when he is going to allow you to open up your mouth to help a sister, to help a brother, to help a child, to help a friend, and to help a frenemy. This is how we're going to bless people, y'all, whether or not they are with us or not with us. I tell them I need all my haters because he is preparing a table before me in their presence. And so with that being said, I am humbled to be here. And I want to introduce you to this powerhouse. This lady has touched my heart. I met her several years ago, simply as a customer service rep, but everything she does it to the best of her ability. She had put a smile on my face the minute I met her, and I never forgot her. I would see her on Facebook. And then she formulated a company by the name of Foam, and she's going to tell you all about it. And after I saw what I saw for the past 2 weeks with On Passive, I just started digging into On Passive and what it's about, because we have to know what it is that we have in our hand. When I saw on Oh Bless, and I was so touched and moved, I began to cry and I said, God, I got to help some people. I got to introduce some people to this business because they need us. I opened up Facebook on Sunday morning, and Candy Gibson was the first post that was on my timeline. And when I saw that, the first thing came to my mind is, oh, bless. I don't want to take a thunder, y'all, but these are some of the projects that we're doing here in the Bahamas because we understand that each one can reach one. And no matter where you fall, just know that you were put on this earth to help some people that are connected to you. So with that being said, I'm going to call on my sister, my friend. I've partnered with her and I told her, I said, girl, I got you. I said, we have found something that can take care of some things that you need while doing the thing that you were called to do. So I'm going to call on Miss Candy Gibson to come forward. She's here in Nassau, Bahamas with me. Candy, can you hear me? Unmute your line, please. I saw her. Let's see.
Yeah, so I just while we're waiting for Candy, I just want to let you know that, you know, when I was talking to Chantel, she said, would you talk to her? And so we got Candy on the phone, and I just was starting to learn about, you know, who she is, and she's a brand new founder, and I'm just so excited to have her with us. And I just want you to know that here's a person who's been doing it. You all have been doing it. And here's a person who gave up what I'm learning, pretty much all of what she had to do what we're doing. I see a hand up, Chris. Do you want to entertain that hand as we're trying to get Candy up?
Absolutely. If anyone has a question why they're trying to get Candy, number one, you guys are getting me crazy excited. So I don't know where that hand went. I know Jane Helms has a hand up. I'm not sure what happened to the other
I
one.
don't
Jane?
think Candy is in the house yet, Chris.
Okay.
I'm looking for her.
It was a new. She needs to be accepted. I guess she's hopping back on because she was on.
She
Okay.
is now on. She is now on.
Okay.
Candy Gibson, right?
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good
There she
afternoon,
is.
everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. I just got a new phone, and I think I'm getting older now in age. I don't know how to work these new phones anymore. But nevertheless, good evening, everybody. It's truly a pleasure to be a part of your ministry. Oh, bless and oh, passive. I take a special honor and delight to be a part of your tonight's session. Thankful to the invite from Ms. Chantel Behrens. My name is Candy Gibson, and I am the director of FOAM. FOAM is a nonprofit organization in the Bahamas. Our main objective and plight was just dealing with murder victim kids, because so often we would hear what he or she was or wasn't, and that make headlines. What become of the kids? No one ever knows. So we provide new and newest clothing, grocery items, counseling, and so forth for the kids. We partnership with 6 schools that provide free scholarships for children who would have lost a mother or father to murder from the ages 1 through 4 as free scholarship. We provide their lunch, we provide uniform, we provide birthday gift and Christmas gift. In 2017, we were branded. We now have a female shelter, but during COVID-19, we had men being abused as well. So we turned the female shelter into a housing project. And at one point, we had 28 persons living in a 6-bedroom house. I had 3 living in my personal home, and I had a family of 4 at my office. Our motto is making life easier for those in need and hurting amongst us. Throughout COVID-19, there's now a plethora of domestic violence amongst us. And I'm willing, with the help of partners and sponsors, to build a brand new state-of-the-art female shelter and empowerment center with 20 rooms, 16 upstairs and 4 downstairs from persons suffering from disability. And that's FOAM.
Wow. Can you imagine, folks? So here's a person who didn't just speak it, she's making it happen. And I was so inspired. And, you know, on Passive has created this platform, Oh Bless. It's not in place yet, but it's coming. And now we're starting to put the workforce together. And I'm just so thankful that, you came out, Candy, and let us know that here's a real life thing. We don't have to reinvent that wheel, Chris. There's, like you were saying earlier, there's so many folks that are already blessing in so many ways. But now, Candy, you're going to learn more and more and more as we come together here, the power of Oh Bless. You're connected with 1.3 million founders around the world. And I know God's going to help you, get to that point, and with just some patience. And I know that outside of On Passive, we're going to try to help you come in. And that's where we in the community of founders have to realize we don't have to stop blessing just because Oh Bless isn't ready yet. So just go outside of On Passive and do what you're doing. As Michael said in his wonderful post today, just be careful that we don't tag On Passive to, like, if we want to go ahead and give to people like Candy, go do your thing, but leave Oh Bless to the side until we have the Oh Bless campaign ready. Then we set up a campaign for Candy and places like that and say, hey, campaign, we have a shelter for murder victim families. If you're interested, we need X number of dollars for this incredible vision she has for this shelter. And what do? Woo! How many, Chris? 100 times what is a billion?
Absolutely, Daryl.
So Candy, hats off to you. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing. Wow.
Candy, thank you.
Yes.
Number one, is there anyone that's not excited where you guys live? Because just to hear the excitement come out of your voices about what you're doing. And Daryl, break it down to what are some of the things you're doing and what you followed as far as laws or anything that you can help teach, educate, because you are a teacher, educate people that might want to do something like this. What are some of the steps you and Janet and the rest of the Bahamians do to follow the rules?
Well, I have to be honest with you. Right now, we're just finding the people. Now, someone like Candy has already gone through the steps. So she's the expert in that field, okay? The teachers, now when Rafi and I had this meeting with the assistant superintendent over in Eleuthera, he was very, very eloquent and pointed when he was saying there's certain things that the government has in place. Now, we're not sure that we can use these platforms that On Passive is offering right now. So here's what we did. We just set the school up. We told him, we have a spot for you. If you choose to take it, then you don't have to use the tools at this point in time, but you'll be able to use the funds and the tools will be out there for whomever does. So we give them the option because we don't want to step on toes. So I think in the conversations that you'll have with folks like Candy, that stuff will
Shut
come
your
out.
crack your ass up, you fucking Daryl Cook looking bitch ass.
I don't know where that came from, but that was interesting.
He's gone.
So anyways, God bless him. Really, pour out love to that individual, because that's what blessings are all about. People are in need. And that's an expression right there of a person that really does need help. And, I've learned that when people attack me, I look for blessings. And that's what I've been learning about all of you folks here. It's so refreshing and so calming, isn't it? That all you have to do is just pour on blessing, and it's wonderful, whatever your faith and desire is. So, here we are, a company now, and we're just trying to express and help. So as far as the laws and stuff, we're learning. We're in the baby stages, but it doesn't hurt to set up a sponsor. And so we have a sponsor for Candy's facility. It's happening right now. So she's in place for when it's coming. And then if anybody wants to come in on the outside and help, we can do that too. So we kind of got two streams already in place. Does that help?
Yeah, no, it's what you're doing. If you're going one from one, belly to belly, you're exciting the educators about what you're doing. So very, very impressed with that. We do have one hand there. Let's see what they, Jane, go ahead. If you have a question, please unmute yourself. You have your hand up.
Oh, this just blows me away. Every time I get on an old bless, it's like it's so good. And Daryl, oh, how you handled that situation. It's like kudos, like thank you. Thank you, Lord. That is the way to handle the adversity for sure. That's the way that we need to. Yeah. And as can we call ourselves O Pacifians, O founders? Did I coin a new word? And also, I wanted to kind of, Chris, ask you if I could kind of springboard off of this idea to kind of, would that be okay? It's kind of a new idea type of thing. And it's not mine. One of the girls that I signed up, Tarina, you might have gotten an email from her. She had an idea brainstorm one night about, each of us, because we were really talking about how we really do want to bless other people. And she thought about, making almost like having a monthly thing of ways to bless others, like maybe 1 month, take a bag of groceries to a single mom who's struggling, or hand out sandwiches to homelessness or blankets or just whatever, something different, plant a tree 1 month, that type of thing. So I thought that might be something, else just to throw into the mix, kind of like what Daryl and Candy and all the others are talking about. Just an idea. So just wanted to throw it out there.
Oh, Jane, you know me. What do I say? Something is better than doing nothing. Everything that Daryl, he started out with just, hey man, we can do this. And you see how far, you see the excitement in these individuals who actually really makes me look not exciting when they start, especially when Chantel talks. But let me tell you something, doing anything to help anyone is definitely part of an Oblast project. My suggestion to you is get with that young lady that you're talking to and do what Daryl's doing. Start putting it together. Brainstorm your ideas, put it down on paper. And when we launch to the world, we take off with it. That's what basically these are for, to start us off, to get it going. It's like, kind of like Ashma Fire gave us all the opportunity to actually get people interested in passive. All right. Same thing with these projects. All right. You
Hey,
have
Chris,
the time now. You have the
Can I
time
jump in
now.
on that?
Go ahead, Daryl. Go ahead.
Yeah. What Chris is saying, I'm going to break it down very simply. This is what Mr. Mufara has shared with some of us when we were in Boston. When you have limitations, you have fear. And I don't care what the fear is. And trust me, I had fear in me to try to help get this thing going because I did not know where the road was going to end. But I said, you know what? Mr. Mufara said to me, if I can take away the limitations, you can then think beyond it. And so that's what I did. I said, okay, I'm going to do it, but you don't want to go crazy. You want to plan, you want to think about what could happen, but then raise the bar. Isn't that the theme? Raise the bar. So what did we do? We collaborated a little bit and we said, yeah, we can do this. Then I found a guy like Darren Lloyd. I don't know if Darren's on tonight, but if he is, I wish he would come out because Darren says, look I think if we reached out, I think, I did this part. He was part of another group that taught young men and women business principles. He's not a teacher by trade, but he started to go to school. And they were teaching. Then all of a sudden, of course, Dorian hits and a lot of stuff stopped. But go beyond your limitations. That's what I've learned about Mr. Mufara. And then your expectations go, whoa. Because expectations are just a manifestation of getting rid of those limitations.
What a good word.
Yeah, Absolutely. Jane, does that
So
help
I'm
you
here,
out?
Daryl. If you
Hey,
want
Oh,
to
yes,
know.
Darren.
absolutely. And Chris, I don't have a way, I don't have your email or a way to get in touch with you directly. So can you send that to me in the personally chat or something?
Well, I will do that, Jane. I will do that right now. Not to jump over you, Michael, but Darren, I see you here. If you'd like to speak up there, go right ahead.
Sure. All right. Good night, everybody. It's great to be here just to share a little bit of what's happening and the excitement that we feel here in the Bahamas. I wanted to share a little bit about what Dara was saying, and I want to encourage us as founders and as persons involved in this Oblast initiative to remember that we have the power to empower others. And I speak from two sides of the fence. I remember I had a youth mentoring organization in the Bahamas. I still have it. It's inactive now. And I remember hitting the pavement trying to find funding, go into organizations, companies, because we wanted to feed the kids. We wanted to provide funds for field trips. We wanted to come up with a school program, and it was hard. It was almost discouraging, right? And you come across founders, and I think there's a paradigm shift. And the shift is this: you come from a position of understanding the needs, and sometimes being paralyzed with how much it could be, to seeing that you have the solution, because that's what Oblast provides. It provides a solution to help meet the needs, to help uplift humanity, as the model is with On Passive. And I think that gives you a lot more confidence. It gives you a lot more vision and passion, because you see now, okay, I saw what the problem was that I was trying to tackle, but now I have a means to actually eliminate that problem. And so what happens is, what I find is that as you have that new attitude, you go about and you see, hey, why don't we come together and do this? And why don't we come together and do that? And when we met Daryl, it was like, it was just awesome, because we were the same kindred spirit, the same kindred mindset. And so it's like in our different communities, we have the problems, we have the situations, the challenges, but remember, you also have a solution. And as a founder with Oblast, is a powerful tool, because not only you have members and persons and bodies, but you also have resources, you also have influence. And I think that's what's going to help us to have a true impact in the community, because you have everything in one. And now it's just a matter of identifying the product. Identifying the project, and then going towards and implementing what we have. And then we see a tremendous difference. So those are just some of the few things that I wanted to share. Thanks for allowing me to do so.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you what, Darren has been such an inspiration in my life, because I learned what he was doing with young folks. And, again, when you're doing this, expect roadblocks. Just expect them. But you know what roadblocks are? It's just another way to start banging your head a little bit harder. And you just keep banging through it and banging through it and banging through it. And all of a sudden you will see the light through that tunnel. And poor Janet and Eden are realizing where Daryl's coming from. And my brother-in-law and wife have dealt with it for years. When I see the end tunnel, nothing else, I don't see the trees. And Ash Mufara has lifted that beyond. I don't have a machete anymore. I've got a chainsaw. And I just say, okay, there it is. And then I'm learning, okay, slow down. Let's get some people collaborating here, because you don't want to create so much of a mess that you get in trouble. That's where it comes in with the government and all of that. We want to be really careful, but don't be afraid to take the first step. That's, I think, what Darren was trying to say. You just have to get out there and take the first step. Chantel, same thing. And then there's people like Candy who did that. We can learn so much from them. And I'll bet you, my brother-in-law and I, we started thinking, okay, what's going on in Albany? See, we live in the boonies. I mean, we really do. But what's going on down in Albany, in the capital city? There are all kinds of people helping people. So we're starting to make lists. Where can we go from there? And it does not take away from the original opportunity of On Passive. I'm starting to get a little bit of that. Well, I thought we were to do this, you know, we're a company and this and that, but yeah, we are. And all we're doing is sharing the same vision, the same company opportunity, but we're just now expanding that from our friends and family into our community. And as Ash said, then it goes where? It goes to your country. Wow.
Sounds like you're compounding, Daryl. That's what it sounds like.
Is that something you heard before?
You know why I got a big head now? I'm always slamming it. So come to those roadblocks, but that doesn't mean stop. Like, you know, Darren, if there's a will, there's a way. How many times have we heard Ash say that? If there's a will, there's a way. You all know what's broken in your neighborhood, in the world. Guess what? We get to fix it. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how many phone calls I get a day, but let him know that I'm crazy or we're crazy. We're not crazy. We care. Let's take the C word from crazy to care. And we just want to help things out. So a lot of people out there like the ding dong that got on here and tried saying something to my brother Daryl. He has no idea who Daryl is. He has no idea the passion that Daryl and his team have for care. Guess what? I bet you one day we're going to be helping that guy out. Even though he was a ding dong, we help ding dongs still. It's okay. Mike, engineer Mike, go ahead. Unmute yourself, please.
Hello, everybody. Good evening, all the leaders. Hey, Derek Cook. Good evening, everybody. It's so touching when we come here and we hear the stories of people all around the world. It's the stories are never the same. Every people, every community, every country has their own unique problems, and they're seeking for ways to solve them uniquely as well. So I was just in touch with Miss Dorothy Cook. She's going to meet the elderly home people. And our brother Raphael is talking about schools, to some kind of school reforms for the kids, which are the young ones, our leaders of tomorrow. And we're talking about Miss Candy Gibson. She's talking about home for disabled people and stuff like that. Those are big projects. So in my capacity, like me to you people, for Miss Dorothy Cooper, please, three of you, Dorothy Cooper, Raphael, and Candy Gibson, you work with Derek Cook, give me an email address. I'll give you all one founding member accounts so that you can go ahead with your project. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Engineer Mike. I appreciate you, man. Raphael, you got anything to say to Engineer Mike? Because you're smiling over there.
I want to say something to Engineer Mike.
Go right ahead, Dorothy.
I just want to say thank you. Thank you so much. My goodness. Thank you. What a blessing you are. And you know what? That's exactly how it starts. One person at a time. And once we do our part, God is going to put it into the hearts like he did for you, Mike, and all the others. So I am forever grateful. Thank you so much.
Just want to say thank you, Mike. Thank you. I thank you for all that you do, man. You know, you just have a heart of gold, man. You was on 2 weeks ago with Mark. You did the same thing, man. You just have a big heart, man. God continue to bless you and those around you, man. Thank you very much.
Can you feel the love, guys? Can you see what we're doing right now? We're connecting people that might have never met each other before, and it's becoming a really nice circle here. And like I said, make connections with each other on these Zooms. A lot of you have the same ideas.
They didn't care.
If you have the same ideas as what's happening with Daryl and that wonderful team, that exciting team, connect with them, ask them, talk to them. They're number one, they're educators. They can teach us a few things. I know I can learn a few things. So get into that connection mode. Willow, my beautiful 21-year-old girlfriend, you go right ahead.
Oh, don't I wish I'd give you a run for your money if I was 21. I tell you, I had to follow Mike, and now my tears are running in my mascara. I can't hardly stand it. When I met him last month, and last week he helped me with my problems I was having on YouTube. I fell in love with this man and his heart. And I thank you, Mike, from the bottom of my heart for being part of my life in the future. But I wanted to say a couple of things that I found out this week about Bless, because I was doing my homework and my daughter was in the hospital and I was sitting there on my son's iPhone and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. But anyway, I was researching about crowdfunding and the differences there are in crowdfunding is amazing. And I think we all need an educative night where we understand the different avenues that we can take through crowdfunding. And a lot of people think it's just raising money for a certain cause and, whatever, but there's much more to it. You can raise money for that beautiful child that lives down the road for you that can't afford shoes to go to school. You can use unpassive Bless for so many different things. The only request I don't think you can use it for that I got asked this week was you can't do an Bless to kind of get rid of your school loans, that you can't do personal things. But I found out so much by just Googling and reading the difference between, I'm old school and I knew we used to do fundraising and we were lucky if the people that we raised funds for got 10% of what we went out and earned. Ash takes not a dime, not a dime. I won't deal with Facebook and their crowdfunding. I won't deal with those that go on Twitter and promise the world to people and then don't deliver. Ash is going to deliver. And I was talking to Daryl really brought up some really important things for me tonight. Number one, when you're dealing with people that are from other nations and other countries, and I was dealing with Native Americans within the United States. They are sovereign nations. Each reservation is a sovereign nation, and they have their own laws. And I was talking to a young lady there in one of my favorite places that I donate to through St. Joseph's Ministry, Pine Ridge Reservation. It is the poorest sovereign nation in the world. And she said to me, well, what does Bless do? And I said, well, I had to, go through the whole thing of what it's been set up for and what we could do to help her if we had a contact person there that we wouldn't interfere with the laws of their nation. And she said, good luck. And I thought to myself, I was so downtrodden. I didn't know how to act. I said, I've been planning on helping Pine Ridge for so long. And she said, we have to work around the government in order to get anything done here. And so Daryl really opened my eyes when he included the management into his project with his teachers, because I was talking to a teacher in the Native American community. And I was enthralled with all that she knew about fundraising and the different areas that they have tried to raise funds for their children and their education. So I learned a lot this week because I wore Google out, finding out about crowdfunding and about all of the things that I thought I knew about, and I found out I didn't know a darn thing, so I think we ought to, make it mandatory before you create your projects out there. Go out there and see the many ways that founders and our organization, Bless, can help you. Number one, go to onpassive.com and read about what Bless will provide for you. And I thought I read everything. And then I went back and I looked at, there was a whole bunch more information I had missed in my initial study of Bless. So I really highly recommend you do that. And then you get on Google and you check you have to kind of look at the differences between things like traditional fundraising and crowdfunding. Crowdfunding is basically a new idea the last 10 years, and it is primarily internet driven. Bless is going to take over that market. It's going to just literally take over it because too many people that wanted to line their pockets got involved with the fundraising on the internet, and it's become very, very polluted. So we are going to have to see the difference between standard funding that you can do right now through the other companies, and they'll take 50% of whatever you earn for your people. And I think we're smarter, like doing what Marty has told us to do, and Chris, find people like our beautiful Chantel down there that's already doing it, and the other little lovely lady, forgot what her name was already, that has set up homeless shelters for people already. And she's helping women that have been abused and children that whose parents have been murdered. And oh my God, that lady made me cry. But it's the same way with the Native Americans. They have to do it in a specific way that we don't get involved with the government. So I did that study on Google. I'm drifting here. I lost my focus. But Google showed me the difference between standard funding that we did in the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and what online funding, crowdfunding is really all about. And it is so open-ended. There's so many ways. Ash was so smart about this that we just got to stop and think of what kind of man we got behind us and what has propelled him into this magnificent position that he's in. But crowdfunding can be used in miraculous ways for many organizations out there, like Chris said and Daryl said, for the teachers, even for real estate, for funding for investors. Say you got this kid that you know down the street that has this genius mind that wants to develop his idea. You can create a GoFundMe project for him with Bless to support his education so he can develop it, patent it, and put it into work. Numerous ways that we can do it, but we better get smart about what we're doing here. I'm not saying, Chris, you're not smart, darling. I don't mean just throw any rocks here, but I mean, I really found out a lot. Like Daryl was saying, I love you, Daryl. You just make my heart sing every time I hear you talk. But one of the things I found out, I'm going to have some talk shows kind of things on late night very soon, this week, I'm starting for On Passive after we get off these shows where we're all revved up to the hilt and we can't go to sleep. I'm going to fill that slot. And I want to talk to my people that I brought in, that I love, that are part of my heart. I want them to know, get started now, because there's a lot to learn out there about crowdfunding. It is not a piece of cake. You have to go through a lot of hoops. And so I hope someone much more intellectually mature than I am right now. I passed the stage of teaching. I've taught all my life and I can't even get my words right now. But we need to know the differences between a charity, regular funding, setting up an account, maybe like a living trust for your families that you pay into consistently. You have a fund source that funds it. There's so many intricate different things that we can do with Oh Bless and On Passive that you just, it will take you all night. I tell you, I was up all night because I was waiting on my daughter. And I have 157 articles right now about the topic of charities alone. And if you want to set up a charity like I do for the Native Americans and a living trust that they constantly get money at, you got to get informed, because Passive does almost everything for you, but you got to have your story correct. When you go in to fill out the paperwork, you have to have your story, because that's what sells your project. That's what lets other people know how important your project is. So let's do something here. Like step one, the background in creating a story to draw people in, I think is one of the things we ought to work on, Chris. That's just, you know, I'm pretty intelligent, and I'm good at a lot of things, but I can't say that I could sit right down and write legal documents right now and have them be correct without some sort of background study, you know.
No, Willow, you're absolutely correct. We have to educate ourselves. And you made some great points about getting on Google stuff you don't know. I mean, Google's pretty amazing.
It is,
all
really.
kinds of things on Google. So, Willow, I appreciate you. I can't wait for your show. Everything you always say blows me away. Why? Number one, because you have the seniority, as I used to say in the auto plant, and I have respect for seniority. And you can probably teach us a lot. Willow, thank you very much. I appreciate you.
You're welcome.
And anyone that is interested in what Willow's talking, get with Willow. Start connecting.
Yes, I promise I'm going to go online starting tomorrow, the next day. Thank God from the help from Engineer Mike. I found out even what a hashtag was. That's one thing I want to add. Chris, can I add before I go? Mike on Sunday has been teaching people like me that a little slow on the uptake as far as the internet is concerned, how to do things like create your own YouTube channel. And Julie is another one that does that. But Julie's up to her eyeballs with work. I don't want to lay any more work on her little shoulders, but Mike is absolutely spectacular working with old ducks like me. And, you know, he just says, that's okay, do it again. So I go, oh, I pushed the wrong button, you know. But he's so patient, so kind. And I cannot say enough good things about him. I want you guys to go to his webinar on Sunday afternoons and let him help you start your own YouTube channel and how to live stream it. All of the things that I knew kind of it, not the intricate details of it. He took it, shared our screens, took us one step at a time. Judy was there, and Judy and I were talking, you know, it's hard for sometimes people my age to adapt to the online community, but Mike has made it a place that we can go and it's safe, and he has a heart of gold. So I just wanted to add that, Chris, if you don't mind. I'm
You
so
did, and I don't mind, Willow. Thank you very much.
I was so impressed with him, as you can tell.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you, Willow. Thank you for all you do.
Hey, Chris,
Bridget?
can I jump in?
Yeah,
on
don't
this?
jump, Daryl, jump.
I know we got so many hands up, but I just want to remind people, and Willow brought it to mind. You know, when you start thinking about doing things, we often forget you got to start blessing yourself first. Ash brought this up, and I just want to give a couple references. Number one, if you have not read The Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason, this is where you can start proving to yourself that you're ready to do what's going to happen with Oh Bless. Save 10% of your money, or 5% or 1%, whatever you can afford to do for yourself. Bless yourself first. And that becomes the foundation, not only for riches, but it becomes the foundation for you to be able to bless. And then what did Ash say? If you give $10, there's something amazing about this. I don't know whether it's spiritual. I believe it is. But anyways, if you read anything from the Jewish community, money to them is a spiritual element. So just think about that. You take $10. What did Ash say? Give 7. What do you have left? Tenfold. That's not phony baloney, folks. But prove it to yourself. You take, if you can afford 1% of your income, or 10% or 2%, you take that, and you got to discipline yourself first. Do it for 6 weeks or 6 paychecks. Do not touch it. Now you take that money and you go bless somebody with it, and you just hang on your hat, because I can tell you what, life will change. And that's what Ash was trying to tell us the other night. And then you can go out and say, what can I afford to do what we're talking about tonight? What am I going to do to reach out to the candies and to reach out to the community? Okay, I only got $10. Great. What does Ash say? Give it away. Take that money, and I don't care, once you give it away, let's say that the person went around and did something you really didn't want them to do. Doesn't matter. That's out of your hands. You're going to get tenfold blessings back. And then when you got tenfold, what are you going to do with that tenfold? That wasn't yours. You gave it away, and now it came back to you tenfold. Boom, baby. Now you give tenfold away, and what's going to happen? You're going to get 100. Trust me on that. Take it to the bank. Take it. Mr. Mufara showed me that. I forgot all about that. And now, folks, now you can go out and do what Mike did. He can probably afford to do it. Don't do anything you can't afford. Because who's first? You. You can't bless unless you're blessed. So I just wanted to bring that up.
Very good, Daryl. That's why you're an educator right there. All right, Bridget, unmute yourself, please. You got something to add?
Yeah. The thing is, before I even heard about OnPassive, I adopted a dog in 2015, and I said I can't afford to give donations. I'll give my time. I had free time like crazy. So I went there. I did 2 shifts a day. I took 3 buses to get there and 3 buses back, and did 3 times a week. When my dog passed away a year after my father, as a gift, they paid for everything for my dog's cremation and everything else. And then just yesterday, I end up giving $20 for the children. So when I dedicate myself, you're not going to stop me. I will do everything, go in the weather, do everything to go do it. So, and I even help my mom cutting the grass and everything. So for me, as long as I do something, I don't mind. And I live in Windsor.
That's what I'm talking about. There goes another Canadian. I don't know where these Canadians are coming out of the woodwork. Bridget, absolutely love that. keep giving. And like Daryl said, like Ash said, like a lot of people say, the more you give, believe it or not, the more you're going to receive it in a different way. And you know what? You don't have to donate money to do a blessing. What you said is, you donated your time. That's another blessing in itself right there. And there's millions of people in this world, people like you, that we've never heard or seen, but they go out and they donate their time no matter what it is. So Bridget, I appreciate you. Thank you very much.
I'm epileptic, so I know not everyone's gonna hire you, so you gotta do something.
Hey, that's what a pass is for, Bridget. Anybody could do this. And you know what? What you have is a blessing, believe it or not, because you already know that you don't want anyone else to have to go through that. So I know that you're going to be one huge helper in many communities, including the animals. So we love you for that, Bridget.
Thanks.
All right, Bridget, thank you. Jennifer Dickinson, come on down, open that microphone up.
Hi, everyone. So tonight just kind of light bulb went on. So I volunteer with a childhood cancer charity. We donate money to families that have kids that are battling cancer, because usually what ends up happening is one of the parents has to quit their jobs to stay home with the child or stay in the hospital with the child, and then they become financially burdened. So we raise money and donate money and help them with all their extra bills, any medication, that kind of stuff that the government or their insurance doesn't cover. So it was something Daryl said that just kind of, I was always just planning on like donating to them, but then he said something about, I'm assuming he means getting them a spot. Is that correct? Like buying the charity a founder's position, and then they make. Now, as a charity, can I do that? Or do I have to get somebody involved in the charity, like myself or my friend who's the director? Do they need to buy the spot, or not buy the spot, but I mean, put it under their name?
Well, here's where I stand. We've run into this with public schools in the Bahamas, and it would be the same probably in the United States. I don't know if, well, I do know that in the Bahamas, because I've spoken to people who know, you can bring in third-party funding for the school.
Mm-hmm.
Rotary clubs have done it in the Bahamas. We have a gentleman that was part of that and they gave thousands of dollars away. So you could do it one of two ways. If the school district has the legality to take on that third party entity, which is a business, that's what they have to decide to do. Or you can hold it yourself. Now it's a heart thing, and then you just donate money as they need.
Mm-hmm.
What I've tried to explain to the teachers is that you don't want to have a job managing this thing.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is hopefully turn it over to the entity that you're giving it to. So I would, step one, go to them and ask that. Can you, in our area here, the local ski area was owned by the town of Lake Pleasant, and then they leased it out to other people. So I do know that townships can own businesses, states can own businesses. So that's what we have. We're giving them an opportunity to have a business to fund them from a third party source. Okay. Just go to them and ask them, what are your parameters? If I were to be able to give you this, that would provide you oncoming income, can it happen? And if not, then you've got to search your heart and say, well, do I want to actually manage this and do it that way? So personally, I want to do that. So that's just another arm. And then I'm looking into a foundation so that the foundation gets fed the money, and then the foundation sends the money to the entity that I was first trying to give it to.
Okay.
So there are avenues, and that's what brought it up with Willow. Yeah, and I'm sure Ash is going to provide us with education or sources that we can go out. Think of Academy. I was in life insurance. I can't wait to bring on my mentor, my wealth mentor, and have him upload how to use life insurance while you're living and create a dynasty. Things like that. How do you set up a foundation? All of these things are going to be right on that Academy platform. And there are people out there that can help us do that. So I think it's brilliant what you're doing, but just make sure, like Chris said, go to them
Yeah.
and ask them what
Yeah,
are
I'm on the board. So it's just, we just were trying to figure out if there was some legal thing with through like that was going to be an issue through on passive for the charity to have a foundership, or if we should wait until just get them to become an affiliate, so buy the product that way. So we're just kind of, but it was something you just said that I was just like, I wonder if they could be a founder. So I probably actually, I know I have to go talk to the charity.
Jennifer, Daryl, Robin, I think has an answer. I know Robin just gave me Robin, you want to unmute yourself and help out there, Robin?
Thanks,
Chris.
Robin.
Thank you. Hi, Daryl. Another excellent webinar again. Jennifer, I'm in Canada as well. I'm in Toronto.
Okay.
I have a number of people who ask me this. A lot of what Daryl said, I will agree with, in that you need to check with the organization. As you say, you're with yours. So you need to check the fine print, speak to the lawyer if you can.
Okay.
The other thing, though, a lot of people are doing are actually getting a position as a founder for wherever the charity, the foundation, and specifically designating that in their will and in their legal documents, that this is where the money from that particular account will then be paid to, exactly as Daryl was saying, as a third party. Many businesses, many charities, foundations are not allowed to actually have positions. It goes against their charter, it goes against their legal rules and regulations. So the easiest way, if somebody does want to fund and assist any other charity, organization, or otherwise, get a position, keep it in your name or keep it in your file and your portfolio, but specifically designated in your notes and in your legal documents with the name of the organization that you want the monies to go to. And every month you can then siphon that money to that organization as a donation. They receive it legally, and that position then is also able to, once you see where this is going with On Passive, you can turn it into a foundation or corporation actually in its own right, that then feeds the money from the position to where it's supposed to go and gets a tax write-off, and the recipient is also in a legal position. Does that help?
Yeah, it does. Because I know that there are a lot of laws through the Canadian government about what charities can and can't do and can't, like what they, how they can raise funds. So yeah, that's probably the best way to do it. Actually, Robin, thank you.
You're welcome. As a contribution, it's better that way because they can receive it legally as a contribution, and the contributor receives the document to say that they have made the contribution. So it's a win-win for everybody, but it's done legally and goes to the right area without, circumventing or having any problems en route to it. Hope that helps. Thank you. I didn't mean to jump in ahead of everybody else, but thank you, Chris. Thank you, Daryl.
Robin, that's exactly what the Daryl Cooks in the world need, because I see the end of the tunnel, but I don't know who's going to clean up my mess. That's what makes this whole thing so beautiful, because I know a little bit about that, enough to get me in trouble. And then we bring folks on that really have set up foundations. So I knew there was a way. And as Mr. Mufara says, if you can think it, it can be done. We just have to find the resources and collaborate and be careful. Robin, I love you so much. And my wife said the other day, it's the first time she heard you, she goes, "Who's that?" I said, that is the voice of On Passive. Thanks so much for coming in and help.
You're wonderful.
Thank you, guys.
Big hugs to all of you. Good night.
Robin, thank you. Don't go nowhere, Robin. I might need you again. Daryl, Jennifer, I'm pretty sure, guys, I know Daryl, I don't know if he's doing it tonight. Maybe, I know Daryl takes notes just about every Tuesday we do this. And I don't know if he's caught up in his notes, but Daryl, if you can remember exactly what Robin just said, let's write that down And I'm trying to figure out a place where I can put the Obless notes. And this will also help people as the questions come up, we can have an answer for them right there. So I know you're a busy man tonight.
Well, I confess, I sent out a message to Peter and I said, I'm not going to take notes tonight. Is it possible? So hopefully Peter has done that. I don't know, but I'm going to piggyback on what Robin said. And I do have some information on foundations and things like that. And I do have resources that I can go out. So I'll try to put something together for notes.
I appreciate you, Daryl. Thank you very much. Jennifer, I think that answered all your questions, but Jennifer, don't be shy. Reach out to Daryl, Robin, both very helpful. Like I said, we're all here to serve each other, to help each other. So thank you very much.
Hey, Chris, can I add one more thing?
Oh, Willow, you go right ahead.
Okay. Jenny, darling, I found out the hard way. I wanted to create a trust that if I left this world immediately, that it would still go to the people that I want. The big thing that I found out here in the States was, like Robin said, about taxes. You have to, if you create a living trust, for example, where they get money automatically, you have to designate up front who is going to pay the taxes, whether it's going to come out of the funds that are coming in or whether it's going to come out of your funds. And so you have to have an administrator that you assign to the living trust. And living trust, there are 3 different really good ones, but I've been looking into the natural living trust within the United States that you can get by without even having a lawyer. So I want to tell you to look into natural trust, because there's a whole plethora of information about that. If you want to set up ongoing trust funds for charities or foundations that you create in your name or in your family's name. Okay, I just wanted to add that, Chris, and thank you very much for allowing me to.
You're welcome. Thank you, Willow. I also know in the comments that Miriam Sutton was also taking notes. That's good, guys. Combine those notes. Jennifer, thank you for phenomenal. You got some good education there. That's what we're here for. Appreciate you. Dr. Masagio, can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah, hello everyone. Fired up again to be here. Really, Obless is such a blessing to the world. I just wanted to share my experience because of the two charities that I have set up, to say, Obless is such an answer to the world, because I tried GoFundMe for the charity that I set up in Norway for Botswana, and we actually called it Norway for Botswana. It's registered in the Norwegian laws. So we went out on GoFundMe to look for funds or to fundraise. And in this particular instance, we had an incident in the charity that we have set up in Botswana, where we have a campsite. So a storm came and took away the tents where children stay during therapy camps. So it destroyed about 100 tents. And we normally accommodate 250 children at a time there for therapy. So we are desperate. So we took months to create videos and to involve people to volunteer to make some creativity around the advert for this GoFundMe. And we did that, but we got so little money from GoFundMe. And out of the I'm even embarrassed to say how much it was. It was so little. And out of the very little money we had, they took away their 5% GoFundMe as well. So we ended up buying only 2 tents. It was just equal to that, basically. So when I listen to Obless and when I listen to the system and the way the system will operate on passive, I just see floods of money coming to charitable work, really, in hundreds and thousands and millions. And there is nothing as fulfilling as helping where there is desperation like that. So what I realized with GoFundMe is that you need to have connections already with people. For example, when you set up your platform and the advert comes out, if you have the first 10 people donating 2,000 krona, 2,000 krona, 2,000 krona, then people get to see, oh, so-and-so is donating 2,000 krona. Maybe then I can donate. So you already have to have a network of people who will start up the donations to get people interested into the mission. But because we were new in Norway, a new organization, not so well known, we got very little. We ended up being the ones donating through this GoFundMe, little money like that. So I'm so happy to hear how Obless will work. And to the Bahamas today, I'm so inspired. I just am so inspired, so much so that I'm thinking, because we have one campsite that can accommodate 250 kids at a time in Botswana for this therapy. And I mean, these are kids who come with hurtful wounds, psychological wounds, traumatized, impoverished, abused, lots of issues around their life. And Botswana is a big country, but we are a small population of 2 million. So the organization is well known within the nation, and people from all over bring kids to the campsite. And some of them travel overnight with these groups of kids to bring them to this far away campsite. So I'm thinking to do like the Bahamas, but this way, to use the government system, because at least in Botswana, you can still get free land. So if this organization can apply to several portions of lands within the country to prepare for Obless campsites, and we will call them Obless campsites, whereby we're going to have, I'm just imagining this, I don't know what the board will say, whereby we will have a skills training center and therapy training center for any type of trauma or any type of rehabilitation that the nation will need. I just see, as the Bahamas were talking, for myself, I was seeing these therapy campsites popping all over Botswana just for Obless. And what a brand, what a name also to such kind of campsites. So I'm inspired today, and I just wanted to testify before I go back to sleep. Thank you so much. I've been listening.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate you. Love to hear those stories. Hey, imagination is what built the world today. But can you imagine having an imagination for doing good? So I'm glad you brought that word up. Thank you very much, Doctor. Appreciate your participation tonight.
Thank you.
Let's see. We have 2 more hands left, guys. It's like 10:33. Normally I'm supposed to go an hour. I've been letting it go, but let's get these last 2 hands. Merzer, can you unmute yourself, please?
Thank you, Chris. Do I audible, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. I really appreciate for giving me the opportunity to express my feelings. I've been hearing from last several weeks from you. First of all, Mr. Mofaras is opened my eyes. You don't have to have money to do the charity. There is many ways to do the charity. That's really, I appreciate that. And also, I was not aware about this on passive until 2020. 2020, somebody approached me and shows me this. Immediately, I jump in the water. I say that I'm going to get in. But when I heard this Obless, oh my God, this was like a lot of people coming out of the wood right now. Shows it. I don't want to say this because my beliefs are this: if you give a charity from one hand, the second hand should not know about that. That's how I feel it. And I have done so many things. Anyway, I don't want to go through with that. My vision is this right now. What is the main reason for the poverty? Is a joblessness. In your first webinar, Chris, if you do remember that, of course I do. Maybe you do that. There is a one lady came in and she mentioned something for the some kind of construction work or building or something that wide my my imagination. I say, why don't we do something like creating our community? Why I'm saying this to you? Because of my experience. I've been, like several decades ago, I used to have a 3 or 4 like delegations comes to me over here, and I used to take those people. So one guy told me that, hey, no, I don't buy from anywhere else. I buy from only my community people. Think about this, why he said that. So I'm thinking that why don't we create our community, and the people will do the business with only our community, and when it's related to our joblessness means all those people will have all kind of trades. So if they do those kind of things, they can be a business also. Everybody will not have any joblessness, will not have any poverty problem if we create our own community. That's my feeling. I really appreciate that. I really thankful to the Mr. Mufera is give this platform to think about it and do something over this. I've been doing this, but I want to do more about this.
Thank you. You know what? You said a lot of things in there. Well, number one, poverty is caused by many things, not just but having jobs, but I know where you're going. And right, I do read the good book, we'll call it today. And it does say when you're giving, give in silence, just keep giving. But see, oh bless is meant to say out loud, because it's not just one individual. It's a group of people that truly want to help the world. But everything you're saying is absolutely correct. I want you to continue thinking that way, because yes, not having a job is part of poverty, but many, many things cause poverty. But you're on the right track, and I'm glad you're with us. And I'm looking forward to seeing the great things that you're going to do in your community, sir.
Thank you very much, Chris. I really appreciate. If you allow me to do something, one more thing is this bless torch need a blood to lit up. I will give my last blood of my last drop of blood to keep this alive.
You know what? I don't think you're gonna have to give your last blood, but
count me, Chris. And by the way, I'm from San Jose, California.
California. You're next to Julie.
Julie is in Southern California. I really love to go to her live webinar when I heard that, but was too far. Like a 4 or 5 hours drive for me. I was really thinking that if there is something close by to me, so I can go and share my feelings, but unfortunately, it's not happened until now.
Well, I appreciate you, brother. You just did share your feelings, and I have a lot of respect for you. You just keep doing what you're doing, and we'll get everyone together. Eventually, I don't know if it's in California, but we're all going to meet somewhere. I guarantee you that.
Absolutely. I believe in that.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Chris.
Before I call on Peter, Daryl, you jumped up with your hand. I think you have something to add to this. So Pete, I apologize. Daryl, go right ahead.
Hey, thanks, Peter. Mirza, I hope that's the way you pronounce it. You said a word. What's it?
You are 100% right, Daryl.
Thank you. Now, you said you'll give your last drop of blood, correct?
That's correct.
I encourage you to read the book Thou Shalt Prosper by Dr. Rabbi Lapin. Thou Shalt Prosper.
Dalshep?
Thou, Thou, shalt or shall, thou shalt prosper.
Okay. I do remember you just mentioned one book like
Richest Man in Babylon.
Yeah, that I read it long time back.
Yes.
And that was so true. If you relate to that, there is another philosophy on the same token. When you travel, what they say that when the airdrop, the mask come, you have to put the mask for yourself first. Why they say that? You have to think about this. If you don't save yourself, how are you going to save other people?
There you go. So here's my final lesson for tonight, Chris. Blood. The Jewish word for blood is demim. It's a derivative, D-E-M-I-M. You know what else it's a derivative of? Money.
That's correct.
Blood is what makes the body healthy, right? So money, like I said, the Jewish people feel it's a very spiritual thing because it's so connected to the whole soul of who they are. So think about that. You're going to give your last drop of blood in a monetary way, and Mr. Mufara has provided this platform. So that's my final lesson. Thank you for bringing that up, because I thought that was excellent that you said that.
Thank you, Dara. I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Mirza, check the chat. Julie has left you a message probably about California. So check the chats in there for that. I'm going to mute you now.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, brother. Peter, sure, I apologize, but when I seen Daryl jumped up with the excitement, I had to get him on. So Peter, sure, you go right ahead, my brother.
Not to worry, man. Daryl, I connected with you in Boston with Mr. Ash, and I love your personality. You're a great teacher. You're just a great person, and thank you for all that you do in the Bahamas. And of course, I want to thank Engineer Mike for what he's doing. Chris, you are doing a great webinar every time. It gets better and better. And Engineer Mike stands out for sure, and his generosity. Thank you, Mike. Appreciate you. Marza, as far as the code that you mentioned, what you do with your right hand, don't let the left hand know about it. That's in the Bible, just as a reference. Dr. Masago, if I'm saying your name correct, the other platform, the GoFundMe or whatever it is, they all have fees, and some of them are they take quite a bit of fees where you end up with nothing, like in your case where you ended up only buying 2 tents. And that's the beauty of what Ash has built. And yes, on Monday's webinar, he specifically mentioned that all Bless have no fees. We don't have to build everything on passive products just to make profit. He says there is things that we're building where we don't get nothing out of it. We make it for the goods or good of people. And I believe I believe it was Candy was asking, maybe I'm wrong, I can't remember who said it, but they said if somebody outside of OnPassive can they use some of the product, the free product will be used regardless if you are in OnPassive or not. Some product are free, like Bless will be. So some people can use that to help other organizations or good cause. So that's for what I caught on. And of course, Chantel is a fireball. She's an amazing person. I heard her on Saturday in an event with Dubai, and she spoke today. Excellent what they do in the Bahamas. I learned a lot about what they do in the Bahamas. And lastly, what you said, Daryl, in regarding to the phrase that Mr. Ash used, no capital will decrease from charity. And you give the example about the $10 and you give $7 away. That is absolutely correct. And that's also in the Bible, probably both the Old and the New Testament, where you get tenfold back. So just we are learning a lot about Oh Bless. We're taking baby steps, but I know this is going to explode with the math that Chris started the webinar with. I always said, you give $1, $10, $100 is excellent, Chris. And what Mike, engineer Mike did today, maybe some of us here present or in passive right now, maybe we cannot do that at this moment, but trust me, every one of us will do that plus a whole lot more. And the generosity of what you see now is gonna multiply into 100-folds, 1,000-folds. So don't think on passive is not doing anything. Believe me, this is just the beginning. You haven't seen nothing yet. We just started and we haven't even launched yet. Imagine what's going to happen in next a year or 10 years, like Chris was saying earlier. So bless you all, and get good webinar. Keep it up, Chris.
You, my brother Peter Shore. That's the crazy guy that got this crazy guy into this wonderful business. So Pete, always in debt to you. You know why, and I love you, and I hope your family's doing great, my brother. But what did you just say? Something that just sparked something in my head. I was actually talking to my big brother Marty DeGarmo today, and we were just talking. We talk about a lot of things, believe it or not, and 99% is about a passive, and 1% we have fun. That's the truth. And I was telling him, well, a lot of people say, what'd you get on? How many people did you get on your webinar? And I said, to me, and I've had many conversations with Julie and Robin about this too. It's not about who shows up. It's about the people that does show up. And tonight we had like 100, close to 180 people. Let's see, 188 people, right? And that number might get smaller as we go along, but that's okay. Because I know the people that are on this panel right now are really the givers. Yeah, there's some people that just can't get on the webinar. I appreciate it, but I'm appreciative of all you for coming on here and showing us what you got, showing us your heart, wearing it on the sleeve. All right. Remember the one hand thing, the left hand, right hand. I live by that. Okay. But oh, bless, I want to scream it out to the world because I really believe it will paint the world different colors. Now, Ash Mafar, he says that, but his paint and my paint were the same, but he's got a lot more things that's going to resurface this wonderful earth through Unpassive. So, Bubber, do you want to, you had your hand up. Do you want to say something? Bubber Singe? Going once. And Daryl, oh, hold on, William. Daryl, if you're still on here, I just thought of a new, I always say yes to a bless, and you made me add on to it. Say yes to a bless, because we're going to clean up the mess. I like that one. That's a new one I came up with, thanks to Daryl said that. So remember that one. William Delorme, you go ahead, my brother. William, we're going to make William the last speaker tonight, but don't leave yet because there is an announcement once we turn off the recording. And I'm not even sure how to do that because I don't know if Marty's here, but William, go ahead.
Hi, Chris. I just like to mention what Marty said about going out and finding the unsung heroes. And with them, you can get related to what they do and bless them bigger than they are or have gotten to that point. And the church will be another place to raise up Old Bless. And once that happens, as I mentioned to you before, Chris, I believe once the poverty level, going out and helping those places, or people, I should say, we have all the tools for education and skills. So actually, you can get it to them and they can pass it on to other people. Because I believe this is a big, big endeavor. So I believe Old Bless has to have those poverty people go out and bless other people too. It's actually like paying it forward. Is that a good thought?
Absolutely, William. Absolutely. You're 100% correct on that. And like I said, I'm one of those guys that like watching TikTok. And there's a million zillion real stories on TikTok that shows a guy that's homeless in the street and he's got a piece of pizza. And another guy comes up and says, hey, I'm really hungry. And he shares that pizza with him. When you got people on the street that are sitting there eating a big dinner and a guy walks up and says, do you mind if I can have something I haven't eaten? And they just, whoops, threw my pen. They shun them. All right. People that are in that situation are the biggest givers, but we also do have people out there who do a lot of good for people that are prosperous. So I'm not knocking everyone, but every once in a while you come across a knucklehead, will say, that only cares about himself. Don't ever make this about yourself. I want you to get rid of me, myself, and I want you to look at each individual and don't judge. Just put yourself in their shoes for a minute. What would you feel like if you were on the streets and it was cold, you were hungry? I'm pretty sure you think differently about it. So, William, thank you very much. Judy is going to put a message, or Judy, hold on one second. Julie's going to put a message in the chat because I don't know how to turn this live stream off. And I want everyone to hear this message. But William, thank you. Judy, go ahead. Please unmute yourself.
Hi, Chris. I just have a very, very quick story. I have a friend here whose son became homeless by choice. Okay, he moved to Texas. He left home. He was in his 30s. He lived on the street for quite a few years, and she was very upset with him, of course. So she decided, if you can't lick him, join him. So she's from Regina. She moved down went to Texas for 2 months. She literally lived on the street with the clothes she had on her back, to see why he chose that life. And she said the people in that town they were in were the friendliest people she had ever seen. And with her being there with her son, changed his mind that maybe I could live with my mom and at home and have a decent life. But she was so thrilled to be able to live that existence with him for about 3 weeks. She was on the street, and she's elderly. I'm old, but she was older. But it was amazing to see what she went through for her son. Yes, so Old Bless, I think, is going to be wonderful, wonderful. To now we can look from the inside out at people, that do it by choice. Some of them do it by choice, and they do need the help. But thank you.
Judy, what a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing that. I really believe this from my heart that we're going to have enough people and enough funding. And like even Ash says, money can't fix things. People can fix things with the right kind of resources. And believe it or not, money is a resource. But what we're going to do, what I really believe we're going to do, and this isn't Chris Johnson, this is the Impassive family and the Impassive Angels and the Old Bless family. We got all kinds of names for this, which I love. We're going to do amazing things. But remember this, when the apples start flowing, I don't want you to start going. I want you to stay here. And even if you're giving your time, it's amazing. If you throw in $1, it's amazing. But what I believe what's coming at all of us, $1 is nothing. All right, $1 might buy a guy a cup of coffee. But to me, I'm going to say this one time, billions of dollars worth of funding is going to fix a lot of things. 10 years, there better not be one person that's starving or thirsting. That's why I love M-Pesa, because we're global. We've heard many stories from all over the world and where we need help. Papua New Guinea is just as important to me as America, as Africa, as New Zealand, as Australia. Of course, I love Papua New Guinea, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to help everyone else. Papua New Guinea just caught my attention, but a lot of you have caught my attention. I know next week I want to try to get Runa on here. She's going to talk about her project that she's been doing, working hard at with her people from Papua New Guinea. And let's explode this. I'm going to end this, but I want to say some thank yous. I want to say thank you to Lynn Nakamoto, because I always forget. Lynn does all the advertising and posting, and she runs the panel phenomenal. Lynn, I appreciate you. I love you to death. I want to thank Daryl Cook and the Bahama Mamas that came on here and shook us up and got us excited about helping people. Gee, there's a new twist. On Passive Founders, I can see it now. On Passive Headlines, on Passive Founders, exciting, helping the world. They want to paint it a different color. All the beautiful colors. That's pretty cool. Now that's a headline I can't wait to see. All right. Julie Wynn, I want to thank you for helping run the panel. Marty DeGarmo, wherever you are. Thank you, Peter Shore. Always thank you, my brother. I can't even thank you enough for all the things you've done for me. Robin Noble, thanks for jumping in. But guys, stay excited. All right. Remember what we talked about in the beginning. Ash Mafara wants us to set a precedence. Hold on. Let me hang up this phone. I had to hang up with that guy. I'm sorry. See, I got to do things wrong sometimes too, but Ash Mafara wants us to set the precedence. So all you Webby guys and gals out there that run webinars, let's stick to the same rules. We want to get everyone, make sure that everyone's proper, sitting up straight, not eating, not doing crazy things, not sitting places where we sit when you know what we do in the morning, but just be mindful of that. Let's, this is my thing. Let's make Ash Mafara proud, like he's made us feel proud. Let's make him feel proud. Let's make the world see in Passive for what we really are, which is respectful, honest, hardworking people from everywhere in the world. And let's show the world that. So remember that when you're on a webinar, if you see something, maybe the host might forget, send him a little message in the private chat and let him know. But I love every one of you. We're going to continue this next Tuesday. I believe Robin Noble will be having a different show on Thursday. We're going to bounce Bless off that once in a while, but she has something new on Thursday. Tomorrow's on Passive 360, the Julie Milo show, 6:30 tomorrow. Ron and Lynn Friday Night Live. I mean, guys, get excited. All right. Do you have to get on all these webinars? No, you don't. But, watch the recordings, plug in. But let's just share the world that we're not messing around no more. We're here. We want to make the difference. Your whole life, how many times have you said to yourself, I want to make a difference, darn it. I want to make a difference. Guess what? You are now in a passive. You're already making a difference, but wait till you see the difference we're really going to make. I love every one of you. Unmute yourselves.
Chris, can I say something, Chris?
Yeah, go, Julie, go.
If you haven't read my message in the chat, just please read it. It's nothing important, but just read the chat. It's like about 5 minutes ago. It's there still. All right, Chris, back to you.
All right, Julie. I didn't see the text. I think I hung up on you.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, stay humble. Get out and help somebody. Even if you are donating your time, that's a great thing. Daryl Cook, again, Bahamas people, big love and shout out to you. Guys, have a great night. We'll see you on a Zoom somewhere. Say goodbye, everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.